and welcome to my review of Assassination Classroom. In this week's episode, Koro-sensei has been trapped by the Defense Force of Japan, and they're getting ready to blast his ass with a giant laser from space. You guys are probably wondering, Corey, where the hell are you right now? This doesn't look like your typical review room. Well, the fact of the matter is, I'm out of town on business, and instead of just waiting to do all of these reviews and make them all be late, I wanted to go ahead and talk about them, because there are a lot of big developments going on in this week's episode of Ass Class, some of which are going to be very big as we get closer to the end and the finale. We do have to remember that after this episode, we're only about 4 episodes away from the end of Ass Class, and this one had one hell of a twist going for it. The first half of the episode was very schmaltzy and very happy, just Koro-sensei hanging out with his students and being kind of creepy. I only say that because he's going around taking snapshots and selfies with all of his students, trying to put together this yearbook, and even one of the pictures is of him taking a picture of his student when they're naked. If this was like any other country or any other series, Koro-sensei's weird yellow ass would be thrown in jail and he would end up getting a booster shot from a guy named Molly. This was just, frankly, one of the weirdest moments that I've seen from the entire series, but weird is exactly what Koro-sensei does. It's after this where the episode really starts to pick up, and that's because all of the students leave, Karasuma decides to leave. However, Karasuma has been secretly working with the Defense Force in Japan, and what they do is they've created this like massive laser which exists in space, kind of like the one from Akira that took out Tetsuo. It's ridiculous and overpowered, except that it's actually not all that destructive. Ingeniously enough, it can actually only take out tentacle-powered monsters like Koro-sensei, so when he's inside of the school building and this massive beam of light just explodes down on top of it, nothing is destroyed, except of course for a few of Koro-sensei's tentacles, and of course he freaks out, tries to run away, but then they have another contingency plan where they have all of these lasers set up around the school, which all converge together and create this massive hexagonal cage which traps Koro-sensei, giving them the perfect opportunity to hit him with this laser again. The thing is, this is one of those weird, ridiculous lasers which takes an entire freaking week to charge up, which is going to give all of the students a perfect opportunity to find a way to actually save Koro-sensei. Koro-sensei himself doesn't even really seem all that worried. He has a lot of faith in his students, and he's continuing to just go about his normal day putting together this yearbook. Most of the drama from this episode came from the fact that all of the defense forces of Japan are keeping the students out, and they're making all of the stuff about Koro-sensei like they're releasing it to the public, which is really surprising. They're actually telling people, this is the guy that destroyed the moon, we've got him captured, we're gonna take him out. Everybody just chill out, we got it under control. And they even realize that these students were being basically held hostage by him. They don't realize that he was actually going out of his way to teach these students. Now, despite the fact that Karasuma seems like he actually sold out Koro-sensei, it looks like he is genuinely trying to help out the students through a lot of cryptic wording. Basically saying, like, don't give me a hard time, wink wink, go save Koro-sensei. And the rest of the episode is just with all of the students talking on their cell phones, using text messages, figuring out where they're going to meet and how they're going to save Koro-sensei. If you guys want to spend most of the episode just looking at a bunch of freaking translations from a Japanese show, you can like it if you want. I really just didn't care for it all that much. I wanted them to get through this part of the episode as quick as possible. As I was watching it in my head, I'm like saying, don't end the episode with the students getting ready to save him. Don't end the episode with the students getting ready to save him. Damn it! That's what they're going to do. End the credits. We don't even get a preview to see what next week's episode is all about. And I actually do like the fact that they don't show previews. It just really gets me hyped up to see what they're going to do with the next episode of the series. And that's pretty much this week's episode of Ass Class. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Assassination Classroom? Things are not looking good for Koro-sensei right now, because now the entire world knows about him. They know he exists, and that Japan has the ability to take him out with this big, massive laser, which they don't really seem to have any problem questioning. Just who cares? There's a monster. Kill it with whatever you have. It's really strange, but it's the type of thing that you can kind of accept if it is a Japanese anime series. And this is definitely a Japanese anime series in every sense of the word. This one right here definitely exemplified a lot of that, especially the big final montage scene of all of the students talking to each other. There was a big cheesy J-pop song which was playing the entire time, trying to make you feel something in your cold, desperate, dark heart. but frankly, I just really wasn't feeling any of it, because we all know that Koro-sensei is going to escape from this. There's no way he's going to be snuffed out by the frickin' Japanese defense. They can't even take out Godzilla. Shit's not going to happen. His students are going to save him, and that's when we're probably going to get to the true villains of the series. We all know who that is. That is Shiro and his brand new subordinate. They're not going to show those characters and not use them, especially because, like I said before, I think his subordinate, without a doubt, is the second Reaper in the series, and he's definitely got a big chip on his shoulder, and he wants to get revenge against Koro-sensei, and this is going to be one of those situations where if anyone's going to kill him, it's going to be me. They might even intervene. They might try to stop the defense force from making this happen, and this is going to prove really big problems for the kids as well, because they're probably going to end up running into them. Or it's just going to go in this situation where they save Koro-sensei, everything looks safe, and that's when they decide to jump into the battle. I mean, they only have so much time to get to all of this, and like I said, with only like 4 episodes to do that, they're going to have to build up the action, they're going to have to show off the villains, and then of course we're going to have the finale of the show, which I have a feeling is going to take up an entire episode, because we're going to have to see where all the characters are going, what their plans are, because the biggest thing that they took away from this episode is that all of the students are preparing for their future careers. Nagisa has made it official. He wants to be a teacher. Koro-sensei that says that's all good to him, and he's basically trying to do that with all the other students. Do we get to spend time with those students? No. Do we probably get to see them in the manga version? Yeah, probably. I will say that this does make me want to look at the manga version, if only because I want to get to know the other students, because outside of Nagisa, Karma, Kayano, like, those are the only student names I can pretty much remember. I do not know the names of the other students, and the only things I really know about them are just these small quirks or personalities that they wear on their sleeves. I would love a lot more expansion on them, and there's just frankly not enough time to do that. But if you take all the characters who are at the forefront of the series for what they are, and all of Koro-sensei's story, it's still a pretty strong story at the end of the day. I just can't wait to see how they're going to wrap it all up in the next couple of episodes. So this was a pretty decent episode of Assassination Classroom, not quite the one that I was looking for, but it's a pretty decent build up to the finale. And after last week's episode, which was essentially a calm before the storm, this week's episode was welcome. I'm just really ready to see the series go crazy in its last couple of episodes. So I'm gonna give this one right here a 3 out of 5. Just kind of an average episode of Assassination Classroom, but just because it's average doesn't mean you should skip it. You should definitely watch this week's episode, especially if you're only watching the anime version. It's going to get you hyped up for the last couple of episodes of the series. If you're a manga reader, watch it at least once. You might get a couple of laughs, especially from the scenes at the beginning of Koro-sensei trying to basically force his students into cosplay. So, good episode right here. Check it out, Ask Class fans, but I want to hear from you guys. Did any of you watch this week's episode of Assassination Classroom? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Please tell me why in the comments section below, and make sure to tell me what you want to see from the finale of Assassination Classroom. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I really appreciate it. If you would like to help support Super Kami Guru 9000, you can do that in a number of cool ways. You could subscribe to the channel. You could smash that like button right now. Share this video with a friend, and please leave me your comments. And make sure to check out our weekly podcast show, The Powerful Nerdcast. It's pretty damn life-changing and awesome. You can find links for all that stuff in the description box below. So thank you guys again for watching. From the Hampton Inn, stay dandy, baby.